Hey y'all, it's Skell. You know, the big one and not the little one. So today we're going to be talking about navigating your platform as a creative. Everything from how to start your platform, when is it best to quit your job and just do your creativity full time, being a small creator against a large creator, y'all. It's like that, and we go there. So make sure you watch this episode afterwards. Like, share, subscribe, send to all your creative friends because everybody needs to hear this episode.
For my brothers never had an ear to hear them. These the bricks for our sisters help us build them. If I could be a black fly on the wall, I can hear and see it all and have the mind of a god. Black, 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 black. Fly, fly, fly. Fly, fly, fly. Black, black, black.
Hello, everyone. Did you miss us? We definitely missed you. So we are back with another episode of Black Fly on the Wall. I am your host, Skell Creasy, and I have some amazing women with me today. That's Aaron's favorite word, amazing. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Hey y'all, I'm Breanna Powell, the Busy Bree on all platforms. I am a social media manager and full-time influencer and content creator.
What's up, everybody? My name is Meaghan McKinley. I am the founder and owner of From the City, and I'm an entrepreneur and media marketing maven.
Period. Period. So the title of today's episode is Navigating Building a Platform as a Creative. So ladies, tell me, how do you creatively identify?
So I creatively identify as a content creator and social media manager.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I identify as a marketing maven and entrepreneur.
Okay. I think for myself, definitely content creator, but fashion based.
Mm-hmm.
So, most of the things, even if I stray outside a little bit, it kind of always goes back to fashion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you do it well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think, okay.
That's what it is.
No, I appreciate the flowers, and I do take the flowers. I haven't always been like that. You know what I'm saying? If somebody would give me a compliment, especially in this creative space, especially going out, and I'm like, oh, I'm a fashion content creator. There's somebody comments on my fashion. I'm like, oh, this little dress or this little thing. But now I am into owning everything. Wherever I am, I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So even if it's this, almost unattainable, or it's you only have this many followers or this many vanity stuff, but it's but if I'm in the spot, I'm supposed to be there.
Absolutely.
But how do you deal with self-doubt or imposter syndrome and things like that in this creative space?
So how I deal with it, I honestly was raised by a mom who was always do your best, you can do anything. So I was always very encouraged growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped. But sometimes we get those slumps where we're you get in your head and things like that. But currently right now, I'm on a journey of just doing it and seeing how it lands. And 9 times out of 10, you won't land. So it's you just got to try.
Right.
You never know who's watching you, or you never know who's supporting you. Because, sometimes you got those silent supporters, and the next thing you know, you're doing something and people pop up and you're like, wow, I didn't even know you knew about this, what was going on. So definitely just go for it. You got to just get out your head.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think to your point, I have been really blessed to have community that supports me, and even beyond them being supportive, they see me. And there's just been a lot of times where I'm like, no, I actually don't think that I'm going to be able to do this. I'll get an idea and I'll say I think this is a really good idea, but I don't know if I'll be able to execute it. And so being able to be in community with people who are no, you got it. You can absolutely do it. It helps when that self-doubt creeps in. It helps to be seen by other people.
And it does. To comment on what you said, it is about your community. I feel like you really have to be very discerning on who you keep in your circle. And I really do have a great circle, a great community that supports me. And sometimes they champion me harder than I champion myself.
Oh, okay, you think I can do that? You think I can do that? One of my mantras, or, one of my taglines when I'm doing my videos or even my audio rooms is, hey, y'all, it's Skell. The big one and not the little one. And so then sometimes people are like, ha ha ha, who's little Skell? Because, maybe because of my height, I don't know. But little Skell is that self-doubt. Like that person that is like, why, who's going to listen to you? Who's going to watch your videos? Why should they watch your videos? Like that's little Skell to me, to the point, to this community point. Like sometimes my friends are like, that's little Skell. I'm like, oh, my bad. Like, oh, okay, I'm at like little Skell right now. So like, I think community is so important. Like collaboration is so important. Like one of my favorite things about being in this Black Fly space is like, I get the talent for the podcast episodes, and I take that so seriously. Like it's not about, like I said, how many followers you got, if you my friend or not. If I don't think you're gonna get up here and be vulnerable and like really have something to say and teach somebody, you're not getting on a pod, right? Mm-hmm. And so but like to you, like how important is like collaboration? We already kind of touched on community if you have something else to add, but like how important is like collaboration and working with people for you?
It's really important to me because I think we've gotten into this space as a society where everybody is just competing against one another, or they think they're competing against one another. And there's just so much that we can learn from like collaborating with other creatives, with people who are not in the creative space, who just have creative ideas. So it's really important to me because I've met some of my dearest friends since I started creating full time. So and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wasn't willing to collaborate or connect in some sort of way.
Right. Yeah, that's what
I truly believe right now in the time I'm in is that collaboration helps produce innovation. Mm-hmm. You can't do it all on your own. Like you need someone to like, might have a different audience. Mm-hmm. You all can bring it together. People get to network and talk and chat, and it just kind of merges two worlds sometimes and create something that you didn't even know was possible. So I'm really in a space where I'm actually not just collaborating with people, because some people want to collaborate with you because of what you have, because of your followings, or that they see that you know certain people. But I like collaborating with people that are in different areas than I am, and kind of seeing what we can come up with together. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now with a few different ventures, and like enjoying the process. Again, know new people and things like that. So it's been really exciting.
I mean, it's like genuine, and I feel like when it is a genuine collaboration, or like you have genuine community, that's where this stuff is birthed from. Mm-hmm. When it's forced, or when it's because, oh, you look like this and I look like this, so we should do this. Like you can just tell. Yeah. And like, especially right now, which I love, actually I feel like this all across the board, is like authenticity. Like people want to know, like, this is something you really do, or this is a person that you really like, or this is a clothing item or a food item that you would really eat. And so just being authentic, I feel like now like weeds out some people. Like even Beyonce had to do a whole video like washing her real hair. And they're like, wait, what?
I can't fake it, because eventually you're not going to be able to keep up with it. But like you got to stay true to yourself. You got to stay true to what you do. And because if not, eventually people going to see you.
And for who you really are.
Yeah.
And then what?
And you also like, so now, you've been this inauthentic person, and now your audience is inauthentic. Like maybe they thought it was real, but like it wasn't. And so then when they finally find out you, that's where you get all those people like, being exposed and like, nah, she was like this in high school and this happened. And so it's like, I think you just go ahead and start out, even if it's a slow burn, right? Even if it's a slow journey, because the real authentic audience, they're going to follow you, that's going to ride for you, that's going to go where if you tell them to go left, they go on left. You tell them to go right, you're going right. Like, even if it took a little bit longer than other people, because it is sometimes when I feel like it's like low-hanging fruit. Like, I see you got 100,000 views because you did this, so I'm going to do it too. That's not even right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think like that's just why you should be authentic, right? Mm-hmm. So we did kind of get a little ahead of ourselves. We got to, started talking, but like, what made you even want to embark on a creative journey? Like, it's so much easier to sometimes to just do your 9 to 5, get your regular check. You know how much you're going to make.
It's always been in me. Like, I wanted to be like an art curator. I wanted to paint. And then like I got college and got a D in my art class. So I was like, oh, it's different routes today.
That's just trying to.
And so, then social media got big. And then I went to graduate school and I learned how to use not Canva, Adobe and Illustrator and all of those things. So I really started to expand my creativity and like what I can do. And so like I just pivoted in that, and I've applied it to my 9 to 5s. But I'm like, I do better on my own. Like, I can do this better than what you're doing in the corporate world. Like, what are you doing? This is terrible.
I feel like my job getting in the way of my like creativity. Like, you go to work and a video idea. Like,
Exactly. And I was like, you can make money and a living off of doing this. And, like your ideas, like you have a passion for it and people are picking up on it.
Absolutely. Right.
So mine came because I went straight through to grad school after undergrad, and once the structure of like
what you go to school for?
Social work. So my background is in social work. And once I was done with school, it really felt like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? Like, I know I have to go to work, but what else? So I started a blog and just really needed some way to like, to me, it was a way for me to measure my success, I guess. Because again, all I knew was school, and so I was just trying to figure that out. But that turned into me creating content all the time, and it became something that I really enjoyed.
It was like a release.
It was a release. It was supposed to be just something to keep me busy, right? But it ended up being something that like I look forward to doing. I enjoy creating. I think I tweeted or something the other day. I was like, I literally get to create for my job. Like, that's what I give it. And it's like,
it's real fulfilled.
Yeah, I really do. And then being able to like, I was concerned when I made the pivot to being a full-time entrepreneur and creator, that I wouldn't be able to like do social work anymore, because I do really love social work. But with that authenticity piece, I feel like I've been able to merge my like love for creating authentic relationships with people and doing community with others. I've been able to merge that with being a creative. So
how did you know it was time? Like, I think a lot of people in the creative space, they want to do it full time, but how did you know it was time to transition and do your creative work full time?
I've had no plans of doing it full time, but what happened was I was demoted and then made the choice to quit. And I wasn't really sure what was going to be next. I was applying to different jobs and nothing was coming through. I was telling Meaghan this earlier.
Talking about that.
But for my birthday that year, one of my closest friends bought my LLC and was like, we're just going to do this. Like, we're going to do
That's
it.
amazing.
I was literally like, are you sure? Are we doing it? Because I don't know. And it was right.
What part became full time for you?
Okay, so social media management became full-time at that particular moment. But then as a result, I got to do like content creation and influencing full-time too. But yeah.
Just talking about that because I'm newly full-time entrepreneur as well.
I didn't even know that. Congratulations. It was a hard. I need to catch up. I need to catch up.
Because sometimes you're actually forced into doing it. Like, her hand was forced because they basically was playing with her on the job.
That's actually exactly what was happening.
I got laid off. So, everything kind of snowballed in that. But, you just got to trust the process, trust in God or whoever your higher power is, and just hope that, or just pray that it's going to happen in the best way that it needs to be.
Yeah.
And I've been so busy. I was like, I don't know how I would have did this if I did have a 9 to 5, because I've been
How soon after you got laid off, though, did you, one, come up with the idea, or were you already in it? And then, like, when did you start making money?
So, From the City launched in March. So,
you just got laid off.
And I got laid off 2 weeks ago.
Girl.
When she told me that, I was like, wait, what?
And I have all these events. I'm working with some brand partnerships, and I have like, some wellness events going on in the city. So it's just like, okay. And now I'm like, have meetings weekly with different people. So the money hasn't came in yet, but things are slowly happening. Not the money that, hey, bills are very high. So anybody watching this, don't quit your job.
Right.
That's never.
Well, that's why I want us to have this real fully, like,
never mind.
Tell all of it, because there are people, like I said, that aren't ready to quit their job, or they feel like this is what they want to do, which is fine. But like, we got to talk about like what is really happening in this space so that somebody knows.
Like, it wasn't necessarily our choice.
No.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, we rolling with the punches. We'll see what happens with it. Yeah. And, Bree is kind of more into this kind of movement than I am, being full time. I just started. So Definitely don't quit your job. We're not in the economy right now.
Not in that.
Not to be an entrepreneur. I think folks be like, I'm gonna quit my 9 to 5 to be an entrepreneur so I can make my own hours. Yeah, your own hours is gonna be like 9 to 9
a.m. to 9 a.m. Like,
Work 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
4 hours the next day. Next day you only got an hour break. You barely
exactly.
You really have to want it, and you have to have some motion with it. You have to have community and support.
Yeah.
That's very important. But I'm not scared.
That's good.
No, I love that. I love that.
Continue, y'all.
Yeah, stay tuned for part 2.
Yes, but it does allow you to create a freedom. It does allow you to be able to maybe take more meetings and do more things that you know you wouldn't have been able to do juggling your 9 to 5. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart
At all.
You're talking about, like the positive stuff, which is good, but like, have anybody, family, give any pushback? Like, no, you need to go find another job. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Well, since it's so new, surprisingly, I've been supported. They know what the situation was with my job. The job market is very finicky right now. So I have some leads. I have great support. I have people that are I worked for a marketing agency based out of Los Angeles. So I'm in talks with other, interviewing and things like that. But like Bree said, you'll be interviewing and then you don't hear nothing back. It's like, well, that
Still got to get something rolling.
So well, that's phase 2. But right now, I'm good. I'm happy. It's only been 2 weeks.
Good. Yeah. What about you? Like, has there just been some pushback, some negativity, even on yourself? Like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. I'm about to go.
So when I first started, I was really only worried about getting pushback from one person, and that was my dad. And honestly, I literally was like, Lord, if this is what I'm supposed to do, I need there to be peace in the conversation that I have with my dad. Like, that's the only way that I was going to yeah, that's the only way that I'm going to know, like, this is what I'm supposed, because, I mean, most parents, right, like, just have certain expectations. And I got on the phone with him, and I was like, Daddy, I'm quitting my job. And at the time, I didn't know I was going to be doing content full time. So I didn't get a chance to say that. But I was like, I'm quitting my job and I don't know what's next. And he was like, okay, we're going to figure it out. And I was like, okay, like immediate tears.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Lord, let's do this. So yeah, I haven't really gotten any pushback, and whether it's from him or anybody else, that has been the way that I know, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. One of the ways, at least. It just feels like confirmation.
You've had the sign.
Yeah.
Feeling in your spirit.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't think our parents are going to understand. I don't know. My mom is in her late 60s. So it's like it actually took me 2 weeks to tell her, like, I think you're my mom been out of work 3 weeks. Yeah. It's like I didn't know how she was going to take it. And she surprisingly took it. Okay. Like, I mean, potentially, like, okay, you're going to got it. Like you said, your dad said, we'll figure it out, we'll take it day by day.
Yeah.
So I was shocked to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So how are you making money? Like, I know we said I'm a this and I'm a that, and what, but like, where does the money come from? Like I said, for somebody that's just like, yes, I'm ready to do it. This is where I'm at. I'm at the right place at the right time here in this conversation. Where are you making your money?
So the majority of my money comes from my business. So the Social Hive is my social media management agency. And so the majority of the money that I make comes from doing the client work, managing their socials, creating their content, things like that. And for those who are wanting to become full-time creators, I just hope they know, like, the money is a slow burn. Like, it's not going to come overnight.
Yeah, people look at other people, they're like, oh, no, it took a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, like, let's talk about it. Yeah.
I get some money from Amazon most months, depending on if I share the links, and then LTK. And then also doing paid partnerships with brands. But the majority of the money, the consistent money, comes from my business.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I know it's slow grinding over here. So we're talking about, being a daughter. I know for a fact you're a sister.
Mm-hmm.
Sister. Social
sister.
Oh yeah, me too, child. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like, oh, you're the baby. Oh, no, I feel like I have babies. I feel like my brother was my baby. But so sister, social work, um, management background. Like, how does all that play into your content, right? Because we are content creators as well, and our experience shape our reality. So, like, all of those things, like, are there things that you choose not to show on social media? Are there things that like you like, okay, this is how I am gonna play it. I'm gonna make sure I show a lot of this, then I'm gonna sneak in a lot of that. Like, how do everything and who you are plays into your content? And then on top of that, like, as much as we might love fashion content, it's like, okay, I got other hobbies. So like I want to, show the world that, or I might not. Like, how does all of who you are play into content creation for you?
So I'm selective. I share a lot of me on social media like Instagram, but if you follow me, I do have a YouTube channel. I get a little more personal because I do notice that brands, or I work with a lot of businesses, they like to look at my Instagram. So like I know I can't maybe show, like I started to see that shift in my following. I'm like, okay, I can't show everything that I do because I live in my stories. I'm not gonna lie. Like I live life in my stories.
I love stories.
So in my end feed is cool, but like I'll show anything in my stories, and I know I had to modify that. Not that I'm like, out there or anything like that, but I am more conscious about that. Because being a Black creator, they're looking at you already. They're like, oh, we don't know if we want to work with her. I don't know why it's like that, but you kind of have to. I don't want to say like the social media version of code switching, because I'm still very much on myself, but I am a little bit more conscious of what I share on Instagram and Twitter and things like that. I will say when it comes to what I
feel like sometimes brands or companies feel like if it's Black owned, it's only for Black. That's like, that's not the same thing. Like, just because I'm a Black woman, I can't help but be a Black woman. That doesn't mean that I don't want to or can't appeal to other groups. So I feel like sometimes that's like a barrier for being a Black creator. It's like, somebody doing the same thing that you're doing and maybe not even at the same level. Like, they'll get these opportunities that you won't get because of the color of your skin.
And no, I will say, because a family member, disclaimer, family member shared with me, because they work at an agency, and I was saying, why do certain brands and companies show us in a certain light where it's like, I don't know if you all saw the Popeyes commercial that kind of went viral, and it was just very stereotypical Black. And I'm like, why do people showcase us in that light and don't think that we can do XYZ, or they're looking for white content creators or not Black content creators to cater to the public when we really are the influence? And she was saying, because Black people are going to buy either way. So it's like we have the influence and we have the power, but it's like when it comes to certain things and us being in the forefront, they don't necessarily feel like they have to pay us the most or pick us for certain campaigns, because it doesn't matter if it goes viral. It could go viral from Bree showing you use a product. They don't necessarily have to use you for it because you already have that traction on your post. It's like, y'all were going to buy it anyways. Why do we need to use it? And then we can put somebody else's face over it and still sell it.
But then you have the other intersectionality where it's like, if you don't show what you're doing, then like, how do you attract the brand? Like, if I'm not showing my makeup routine, then how do the makeup company know that I want to work with them? So it's like, it really sounds like a rock and a heart.
Because you see that all the time, because it was the crumble cookie incident where they had the Olivia Rodriguez cookie, and the guy was like, oh, this is the Olivia Rodriguez cookie. Little girl, they be crying, and they wanted to use his sound, but they didn't want to pay him for it. He was like, no, like, why would you?
Right.
And they were like, well, we don't have it in the budget, but they went and got somebody else
to do it, to say it,
to do a different promotion. But you all said you didn't have the budget for me, but this person, I know, they weren't going to be doing it cheaply.
So you played me in my face?
Yes. So those brands are kind of playing it like that. So it kind of, this is going off topic. I'm sorry. This is where it puts us in a rock and a hard place as Black creators and content creators that kind of get a leg up when we have the influence. We make things go viral every day. and they don't want to pay us what we're worth, but they'll go, I don't want to do names, but they'll pay like a white content creator to go and do XYZ.
The same thing.
And pay them triple what we even asked.
Right. And not even at the same, like I said, not even at the same level. Like there's just something about like you said, like everything that the Black culture does, like that really, it makes the world go round, right? Like we say what shoes is hot, and as soon as we say it's not, then everybody is off of it. It's not a question. And is it so easy for Black people to just do that sometimes that we don't even put a monetary amount to it? It's like, you got your hat and your glasses on, like, I'm gonna get to your glasses. Okay. But like it's just so easy to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That like we don't put a monetary amount behind it. But like when we go to these jobs, we're like, nah, you have to pay me to be a physical therapist. You got to pay me to be a social worker. And I'm going to get this much. And it's not, but is it because content and being influential comes so naturally to Black people that we're not asking for the amount, and then we're not getting paid the amount?
Keep the background, man. You know where we at. We're at Grindhouse Studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. Black Fly on the Wall's new home, by the way. Make sure you tap in with Grindhouse Studios at grindhousestudios.com. Learn more about their offerings and what they have and what they're bringing to the Charlotte community. And not only Charlotte, but the North Carolina community. So for my creatives in Raleigh, Charlotte, Durham, Fayetteville, wherever, from the West to the East Coast, make sure you tap in with Grindhouse Studios and book your studio time right now and let them know that Black Fly on the Wall sent you. Much love.
I feel like that's a tough question because I do think that we're asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's hard for, how do I say this? I think it's hard for white people to admit that we are the creators of all of this shit. Like, I think it's hard for them to admit that, because to admit that would be to say, like, I am not as good at this thing as this group of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hard for most people to admit, but it's given our history, of course, especially it's a little hard for them. But I don't think it's that we're not asking. I think that they're just unwilling to meet us where we are and to pay us for the work that we are doing and have always been doing, because nothing has changed.
Right.
This is how Black people have always been. Always something out of nothing, showing other people how to do the same thing, creating shit that people want to recreate, that people want to copy, like things like that. I think they're just unwilling to give us the money that we rightfully deserve. I think that's what it is.
So why don't we collectively do something about it? Like, why is it like there is a literal Black-owned app, and it's literally hard to get creators on the app because, like, and I get it, the audience is on Instagram, the audience is on a TikTok, but like if all the Black people do something, then everybody else does it too. So like, why don't we collectively say like, well, we're gonna take our talent somewhere else, just like we would do like literally on a job or where else?
We have to figure out how we can move as a unit and pivot. Because I remember the same incident happened when Twitter was about to get shut down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's X, but I mean, it's still Twitter. And we were like, oh, we need another platform. And it's already kind of like a Black Twitter platform, but nobody wanted to go to it. So I don't know what it is. It's always, and we'll boycott something, and then next thing will be over. Yeah, we done slid back into the Starbucks line. You know, it's like... It's just things like that. I really don't know. I don't understand. I try to wrap my head around it a lot because I know I really be standing on business behind stuff. And I'm like, I'll tell my friends, I'm like, why are you still drinking?
Right.
I thought we weren't doing that.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, absolutely. Wait, what do we do as Black creators to like demand our worth? Do we stop creating content? Do we stop? I mean, and then I guess he did it on TikTok for a hot minute, and then we went right back to it. Like, what do we do as Black content creators? And it's definitely a nuanced question, you know, and not gonna solve the whole thing, but like, what is a step? What is something that we can do to like demand for everybody? Is it a Colin Kaepernick thing where like you take the brunt for everybody and then hope for it to be better in the future? Like, what do we do as a Black creator to get what we're worth?
I really don't know, because I really think that, kind of adding on to what I said, I feel like for years, for generations, we have been trying to figure that out, right? I think I don't think that we should have to stop doing what we are naturally able to do. Like, God made us Black, and then he gave us all the extra swag, all that swag. I can't help that, okay?
Yeah.
So the best that I can do is continue to show up and continue to create. This is a gift that we have been given, so continuing to steward it well. I want to say and then hope that they'll see it, but I think maybe this is what we do. Stop creating for them. Like, okay, that's what I was about to say.
When they don't pay you, like, especially like some of these bigger creators,
Yeah.
if they know, hey, it's some discrepancies between this, I'm not feeling it, I don't care to work with you anymore, they'll see the sales drop. They've been seeing the sales drop. And then also us just creating more Black spaces for us, you know, the ISAs and people like that, they are kind of like getting in, especially when it comes to media. There should be places for creators in the same sense. And I know we say work with Black brands, but sometimes Black brands don't have the budget to pay us kind of our work.
I think that's what we take. Sometimes we sacrifice. Like, okay, if there is a Black brand for everything. You got Actively Black for, athleisure and workout gear. You got Brown Girl Jane for perfumes. You got Brown Sugar Babe for perfume oils. Like, there's so many. And I feel like sometimes it's easier to say, hey, y'all, go do this brand that everybody does know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. But, like, if we move the culture and we say this is what's hot now, why can't we say that this Black-owned brand is hot now? Everybody do it. And if my favorite creator, which is like Breanna and Meaghan, and they say that we doing something, I'm like, okay, girl, like we doing it. You know what I'm saying? And be patient with the brands, right? Like, they might not have the budget now, but if you're bringing the people over, then they'll eventually have the budget. And so, and being patient also with, like, okay, I got my order in 2 days and this was Amazon. Like, we got to be more patient with the brand because, like, I'm like, come on, like, wait, like one little incident and now you writing a whole rant about it. We didn't even know you bought from them, right? But now we know that you're dissatisfied with them in some way. Like, and I know a lot of Black-owned brands, because it's not as big, like, they're more patient healthcare. They're more like customer facing. So it's like, why can't you write them first and say, like, hey, I really didn't like this, that, and the third, instead of just going, like, I feel like sometimes we're so much harder on ourselves than we are on these bigger places. Like we said, like, okay, now we met at Starbucks for a second and then they got a special 25% off, do this, and now we right back on their thing. It's just like we don't give our brand sometimes the grace. And we have to also take an extra second. Like, yes, I get it. It might be easier to go to Walmart and buy bread. But there's a Black-owned bread company. And maybe, like, plan yourself out enough to where, like, if you can't get to the stores that has this Black-owned bread company, order in enough time. Wait a couple more days so you can get your bread. Literally, so you can get your bread and so you can get your bread. And so, and let that company build up. I know sometimes another thing that's big is like equity. So, like, yeah, maybe a brand, maybe a fan base, which is the Black-owned app that I was saying about, maybe a Spill, maybe they can't right now pay you the money, but, like, a lot of them are, well, we'll give you equity in the company. And equity is a big thing. Like, a lot of white creators are asking for things like equity because, like, yeah, you get some money up front, but, like, some money and some longevity is way better sometimes than getting it up front. And we have to, like I said, be more patient. And maybe you do have a part-time job or a side gig or something to where, like, it's supplementing, but, like, the sacrifice in the beginning is what's going to set you up for the long.
And kind of to jump back to what we said earlier, that's the investment you have to make when you're kicking off, like, creative ventures. You have to put so much in the beginning. And from the city, my creative house is a experiential marketing agency, and that's what we specialize in. And, like, that's one of my key components, and that's what I'm passionate about, is helping other Black businesses. That's why I have the Wine Down and one of the Black-owned bars in Durham. And I really want to partner with more Black businesses and get those activation experiences, because that's what I'm passionate about. And I feel like there's money to be made, and I feel like you have an amazing concept in business, but people need to trust you, and that's where I come in to connect the dots.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of like my marketing experience is and what I'm doing and trying to do right now for
Right.
my community.
No, that's dope. I love that. I love that too. Like just taking the time to like, you know, maybe like their budget isn't as big, but you believe in the fact that like we can have more. You know what I'm saying? So like we don't have to, you know, be getting crumbs from these companies. We're like, well, if we just take a little bit of time and build up our companies, then like we'll have more. And then maybe not us, but maybe like our kids will have more. And that's, like I said, the sacrifices that we sometimes need to make. It might not even happen that quick. Like we have a lot of spending power. So it might not be a generation. It might just be 2 or 3 years. And like we all eating.
Yeah, it's like that Keith Lee effect of like, we come together, everybody can kind of pivot. You know,
Exactly.
got that favorite restaurant, but they don't have, you know, the clientele. They have certain slow days. What about you coming there and say on Tuesday days I'll offer this and that? You don't know who's influence or just how it takes off with the power of social media. Shoot, you could not have that many followers and something go viral. And, you know, next thing you know, you've helped a business stay open when their doors were about to close.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
because it's out there, but they just...
People just got to know about it. It's sometimes as simple as like just people just literally just don't know. So we're talking, I think a lot of one thing that really frustrates me is like, oh, you don't have enough followers, which is like, it like grinds my gear. Like, cause I think influence and followers are 2 different things, especially on like an Instagram or TikTok, because it's so passive. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I mean, I watched enough of it. I might as well like it. I see her. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but like to actually move with people and say like, yeah, you shop here, do this. But like, you can't always tell that by going to somebody's Instagram or social media period across the board, like their influence. But like, in what ways have you had to assert yourself? Like, no, I do deserve this money. No, I do deserve this deal. What ways have you had to assert yourself as a, you know, content creator, as, you know, a manager or what have you?
I've had to like remind brands before that having this small following allows me to be a lot more intentional and connected with my community, because I get to interact with way more people. Now, of course, I do have like goals for increasing my followers and things like that, but I just feel like I've constantly had to remind like the larger brands that I'm working with, my engagement is higher than the people with the follower count that you're desiring. And so if what you're looking for is a return on your investment, then putting that investment into my community and into my content is going to be worthwhile. Because again, I have more leverage to actually engage with my community and them engage back with me than someone who has like 100,000 followers or something like that. So I've definitely had to remind brands of that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's the truth.
Absolutely.
And so even if in that moment they don't agree or decide to work with me, they at least are now like thinking in their head, maybe she was right. Like maybe it would be beneficial for us to work with smaller creators than to not. Like they're saying, okay, we're only going to work with people who have 10K plus. You're missing out on a big group of people.
You are faking the fog.
Exactly.
This is spam. It's a lot of spam followers.
Exactly.
Purchased.
Because I look at the discrepancies, okay?
I do. I'm like, you got this many followers, this many comments, and 5 likes. Something's not adding up. But that goes back to the authenticity thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in closing, do you guys have any words of encouragement, some advice, maybe something a little bit for somebody who's just getting started and somebody who is maybe at a plateau, like they just can't get over this hump or whatever their goals or like ambitions are in this content creation world?
I would say stay consistent. People see your consistency in what you do. Block out the outside noise. Do you. I realize also consuming social media and also it being very important to my business is like you need to take breaks. So as a content creator, whatever your platform is, take breaks. It's okay to get inspiration, watch burnout, but keep doing what you're doing. Don't lose passion for it because everything will play out. Like I've done this before, what I'm doing. It wasn't under this name or anything. It was some years ago, but let me tell you, ever since March 27th, the ball has been rolling. So just because it didn't work before doesn't mean if you try again, it won't. I feel very inspired this time. Everything is adding up, right? So you just don't give it up. Like, try it again. It's okay. Like, if it's something burning in you, do it. Like, don't just sit on it, because somebody else will do it. So might as well be you.
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well
be you. Why not you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a couple pieces of advice. To Meaghan's point, act like you've been here before. This is not the first time that you have endured or had to endure a challenging season, a challenging opportunity. So, of course, starting out, it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel like, what did I get myself into? But act like you've been here before. Show up as if you have made it through other tough and challenging seasons. That would be my first piece. And then the second piece would be, as you steward your gift well, allow yourself to be seen. I think that my vulnerability in creating content in life and building community has been my superpower. I like that my followers see me as a friend before they see me as a creator, and then in turn, I become one of their favorite creators. Because I'm being authentic, because I'm allowing them into my life in some way, right? Of course, you can be selective with what it is that you're sharing, but I think allowing yourself to be seen is going to set you apart from a lot of people. We talk about the ones who are buying followers or who you can tell are just inauthentic. There's just so much power that you can leverage from showing up as yourself and allowing people to see you as who you are.
I agree.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
Your inner thoughts are not true. Like, that's one of the things I've been learning. My friends don't allow me to talk down on my accomplishments. And they've been checking me on that. They were like, Meaghan, you got this opportunity. I recently got an opportunity. And they're like, whoa, you're about to say, like, well, I'm like, I'm not deserving. No, don't say that.
That's not
guy in the room.
Yeah.
Sometimes our biggest enemy is in our head. And that'll just keep you from doing anything.
Yeah.
So, like, really try to work on your mind, because that's like, the brain is your biggest muscle, your most important muscle. So speak kindly to it. Your inner voice, make sure you're speaking positive thoughts or thinking positive thoughts, because that will just change your whole outlet. And like, I've noticed my life do a 180 in the last few months. So trust me, it works. It works.
Yeah. Mine is keep showing up. Like Jay-Z said it, like, during his, like, big controversial Beyonce speech. But like, yeah, keep showing up, like, because you just never know when it's going to be like your moment.
Absolutely.
And right. And so like, you also want to be prepared for that moment. So it's rare that like the first time you jump out, that's going to be it. This is where it's going to be the big hit, right? But like, if you keep doing these small incremental things, when that moment does come, you're going to feel so prepared. And that's when you're going to feel like this is the time. Like, you're not going to be scared. It's going to feel right. It's going to feel like this is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But like, that's almost a trick. It's because of all the small things you did in the background. It's one of those moments where people think like, she just popped on the scene. Like, absolutely not. That is not how it happened.
Yeah.
You said, I've always been here, but this is just the moment. So when opportunity meets preparedness, I'm also big on energy. I feel like you should give out the energy that you want to receive. Like, you cannot tell, I want these things. I want to be influential. I want people to, follow me, like me, love me. And like, you're not doing that for other people. So I try as much as I can to give people their flowers. I'm going to like comment on your stuff and tell you how you're doing and keep going. And I like what you're doing because I do want that energy back, and not haphazardly, and not just to get it right for myself.
Yes.
But like I said, I'm putting out the energy into the world, because like, then the universe can tell, like, nah, you faking right now. Like, you just want to say that, or you just want to be seen, like, not in the most genuine way, because like, me loving on you or your content or coming to your events, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come back to me through you guys.
Right.
It's going to come back to me from somebody else, and you don't know where it's going to come from. So you have to put out the energy. You have to give the things that you want back. And then my last thing is get on fan base. It is a Black-owned app. Why not? I don't understand why not. And also give it grace. Like I'm saying, any new company, any up and coming company, like any person your friends, your family, everybody deserves grace. So no, it is not at the point of an Instagram or a TikTok or an X or we're not, but like, why not give it the chance? Like, I mean, what are you gonna lose? You're already making the content anyway. You're already putting the content out there. So like, why not, go to a place where you are appreciated, where you are wanted, where you're not shadow banned, and where you're not, well, because of the color of your skin, well, this person can do it better. Like, where that stuff does not happen. So, ladies, thank y'all so much. I definitely learned a lot from you guys.
For having us.
Thank you for absolutely, and definitely you're always welcome back. Now you are a Black family. You said beautiful family. Yay! It's navigating, building a platform as a creative.
For my brothers never had an ear to hear 'em. These the bricks for our sisters help us build it. If I could be a black fly on the wall, I can hear and see it all and have the mind of a god. Black, 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 black. Fly, 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 fly. Black, black, black.